we'll get off. We'll finish at 9, Carlos, so you can leave.
Yeah, I gotta talk to these young men.
Okay. No worries. So let me see. So we are on here live, and so let me go to that page so I can make sure. Wow, it's there, Carlos. You see it?
On Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Let me share it with everybody. Um, you actually can see it. Oh, I could have done it there. Okay, let's see. Okay, you got it
Where'd you send it?
to your message page.
On Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, we are live here on tonight. And I'm gonna go back here. Did you
Yeah.
see it?
It tells me to log in. It's still the same thing. Listen.
Okay,
Yeah, I
but
need to
we're
see it. I need to see it on Facebook on your page.
okay. Let me see if I can share it. One that we have here. Send it to Carlos.
Okay.
Look like it. You see it now?
Mm-hmm.
I got my neck frozen.
Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we're here live. Let me see if I can invite Alex. And then we can have a conversation, and then she can come on and finish it out. Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay, well, we're here, and I wanted you to join in tonight because of starting up my season 2 with If Emmett Was Alive Today podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, hopefully, so she'll be able to chime in here in a few minutes. Alex came to me one day and said, "Hey, Mom, why don't you start a podcast?" And I was like, Alex, no, I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. And so, of course, she told me how it would be done. And of course, you being my little brother, I wanted to run it by you. And all you did was encourage me. And I was like, oh, God, now he's on board too. And
Yeah.
so here we are. And I've been able, it's been a slow process. And so I've been able to do 13 episodes and had a chance to have um, Anthony Graves, Christopher Scott, just all the different ones who had went through the system when it came down to wrongful convictions. And so I'm kind of scrambling because we just jumped on. This is good. Alex, I see you. Go ahead and join in if you can. Let me add you to the stream. There you
That's
go.
good.
Unmute yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw you under the bus right now. Tell us what prompted you to make me have this podcast. You see Uncle Los over there?
Hey, Uncle Los.
What's going on?
Honestly, because how long have we been doing this? I mean, how long you been doing
I think we started in 2019.
Yeah,
Like
2 years. Yeah.
uh-huh.
years? Mainly because you have the audience, so that's what first of all got it started. And in other words, it had a purpose before it even happened. So more people wanted to hear from you anyway, and I knew it would be good for a way to kind of leave a digital footprint for you, so
Mm-hmm.
people always go back and forth to hear what you had to say.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, what was going on at that time
Ooh.
um, when
20
they see us?
2020, I got Alzheimer's passed after 20 before 2020. I don't even remember what happened. But oh, I guess when they see us, but see, I didn't watch that movie. You know, I still
Right,
refuse to watch it because I don't want to deal with the trauma. But
right.
Mm-hmm.
because it's something about children and false accusations, I can't watch it. But my main thing was the fact that you had wanted to start speaking and speak
Hmm.
to people about certain things, specifically criminal justice speaking, stuff like that. So not knowing what was going to happen in 2020,
Right.
got the I was just like, let's just do a you should do a podcast.
Hmm. To
And
talk about the wrongful convictions.
to talk about
Mm-hmm.
wrongful convictions and
Hmm.
things like that. To kind of, in other words, give you a platform to discuss those things without having to be in front of people. But again, I did not. Nobody knew that 2020 was gonna happen. It's for you to already have that set up, and now people are talking to you. A
Yeah.
lot of people are talking to you, but but yeah, that's mainly the main reason because podcasts were getting popular. 2019, they've been popular, but they really been getting popular, and so a criminal justice podcast was needed. There was some, but it wasn't any that a black woman was doing like that. So
Hmm.
another thing too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so after you created that, and then I shifted on over to Carlos. And Carlos, tell me some why you chose me, why you supported me.
I'm with Alex. It was very much needed. When I was a prison guard, of course, in prison, you get to hear all kind of stories. And
Hmm.
nobody there is guilty. You know what I mean? Like nobody. And so,
Right.
um, but when I shifted over to death row, we had the opportunity to read what they call their travel jacket or travel card. And
Hmm.
in the travel card, it basically breaks down their crime. Like it has the transcript of the trial, everything, pretty much all evidence. And so as a guard, having, being privy to all that information, then you know what you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So and there are guys, that I was like, man, he got a raw deal, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so not a death row inmate, of course, but guys that have served time and then get parole and come to you. I don't know how much information you guys were allowed to have access to, but I know
Hmm.
you met a lot of them that you said, hey, this guy got a raw deal. In one light, you still have to do your job because
Right.
you support your family, it's your career. But at the same time, being a Christian woman, the right thing is always on your mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
Regardless of what name is on the paycheck or who signs it. So that's why I felt like it was very much needed, especially now that you're retired. You can really share how you really feel without the
Hmm.
fear of repercussions.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
them trying to take away a position or you not making any type of advancements. Now you retired, they can't touch you now.
Nope. Sure
So
can't.
to
Sure
me, it was
can't.
important to hear from the inside. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
From the inside and from that position, and that I can't think of anybody more qualified than a person that was actually there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it was
Yeah.
important. As Alex pointed out, like podcasts are becoming very popular. Has been for probably the last 8 or 10 years, but
Hmm.
in with the popularity and the growth, you see a lot of people that's just on here that's not qualified really to express some of the things or share some of the things they're talking about. And
Hmm.
so a lot of it just ends up being a bunch of opinions. you know. And unfortunately, a lot of people start to gain this great popularity, and
Mm-hmm.
people take their opinion to be truth, and it ends up causing all type of problems. And
Right.
so,
Right.
but with free speech and everybody has a right to say what they want to say, it's really nothing we can do about it. But
Mm-hmm.
the only thing we can do is combat it with podcasts that are telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it may not be a truth we want to hear, but the truth is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so with all of that and you all support and pushing me into doing this, it really has did quite a bit moving not only the podcast but my nonprofit and so our nonprofit I should say Prevention Zone Inc. And I was able to connect with Christopher Scott. He was one of our guests on the podcast. And Carlos, you have another brother now. We creating this big family, but Christopher Scott joined in, and so I was able to air his podcast, and I think I had it for like almost a year. And I must confess, I was somewhat afraid because you were helping me when I first got started. I would send it to you, you would send it to the engineer person, and they would fix it up, and then you would air it. And so I was all right with that. And so and then when that went away, now I'm stuck trying to figure it out. And Alex said, "Well, Mom, I'm gonna help you." Blah 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 blah. And so of course her schedule is busy, and so went on. And I decided one day. She said, "Mama, you can do it." And I sat down, logged in. I didn't tell you. I didn't tell anybody. I just was like, "Oh, well, that's not too bad." So I went on ahead and started putting them out there myself every
Right,
Tuesday,
right.
like you did at 6 o'clock. I was able to set up the schedule, and which again was good because I was able to connect with Christopher Scott, and now we are partnered, and we are helping some individuals who have been wrongfully convicted, and we're working on their case.
Good, good,
And
good.
so, all because I decided to go ahead and launch out on my own and do the podcast and reconnected with him. And he was glad to hear from me. And then the rest is history. And,
Good,
and
good.
so he was supposed to try to join in tonight, but he's working on a few projects himself. But yes, so that's how we got started. And so now going into season 2, we I'm reaching out to people who have been wrongfully convicted, people who are dealing with the system, and so. But one of the guests that I do have coming up, and this is just really phenomenal. This is an individual. This is the grandson of one of the jurors that was in the Emmett Till's case.
Mm,
Now, how tough is that?
mm.
And so he reached out to me on LinkedIn, and so when I seen the message, I was like, "Who is this?" And so he said he was interested in talking, and so I reached back out to him, and I told him, I said, "Well, he was attracted by the podcast. That's
Mm-hmm.
how he found it." and
Mm-hmm.
and so I was able to interview him, and he's going to be our second episode. And the first episode is an attorney that's here in the city talking about wrongful convictions, and he had some really good points and views about it. And so, but the gentleman, Dwight, Dr. Dwight, he's very much into, and he has a very strong story talking about having the grandfather who sat on the jury of the man who was convicted of, well, who was in how do you say it right, who was in court. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't convicted, they didn't get convicted, they got not guilty.
Is this guy? Is he black guy or white guy?
No, he's a white guy, it's an all-white juror.
That's what I thought. It was all white jury. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And he's the grandson, and I got, he has all the proof because he's actually working on some research about the case. And
Mm.
if you recall, a few weeks ago, they were trying to do something with the case, and the criminal justice department denied it. I don't know. I forgot. I should have been educated enough to talk about it, but they were trying to do something with the case, and the Emmett Till family did not win, and so it was a damper, because the fact that these guys, and it was going based on the lady who said Emmett Till said something. She recanted her story, and so now they're trying to say, well, she's not really talking about it, but there's a whole book out there that she was interviewed by the author, talking about how she did not tell the truth about what happened.
Well, to me, that's irrelevant because even if he whistled at her, winked at her, it still doesn't justify murder. You know what I
Sure
mean? So
don't.
I don't even know why that's a sticking point
Mm-hmm.
in regards to reopening the case.
Right.
As a matter of fact, as a prosecutor, I wouldn't even make that a case.
Right.
We don't even need to talk about that.
Yes.
Because regardless of whatever his actions were, it did
Mm-hmm.
not permit them to invade that home, kidnap him, and
Right.
then brutally murder him. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't even know why they even make that a sticking point.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we get caught up in points in a case that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I know, you follow court TV sometimes, and there are cases that are lost just like that. People
Mm-hmm.
get caught up
Mm-hmm.
into one thing that really has nothing to do, and take the jury in a direction that they shouldn't be taking.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
stick straight to the facts and the things that matter. I
Mm-hmm.
love that during the George Floyd case, that's what they did. They stuck to those 8 seconds. You know what I mean? 8 minutes. Like that was so important. We don't care
Mm-hmm.
what that officer did last month. We don't care
Mm-hmm.
what he did at the union meeting last year. Let's talk about this 8 minutes and 41 seconds or whatever.
Right.
And that was very important. And let's talk about how you did not render aid when the man was unconscious. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's talk about that. I don't care about your wife and
Right.
how many spats you've had. Like none of that. Let's talk about
Yeah.
this act right here. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and even there are people. Well, he had a fake $20 bill. That doesn't matter.
Right.
That does not. Let's not even talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
And even with that, if you had a fake $20 bill right now, what would you do?
Good
You wouldn't
question.
even know.
Mm-hmm.
You would have no idea until you went to a store and they marked
Mm-hmm.
it in the yellow strip come up or green or whatever they're looking for. But you as an individual, you would never know.
Right.
Somebody passed it on to you, whether it be when you got change or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case, like someone passed it on to you. So how can you convict me? Can you convict me of a crime of having this phony $20 bill? I didn't even know I had it. You know what I
Right.
mean? To me, it was
Right.
just a $20 bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that made no sense to even make that try to make that the reason this man has lost his life.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course, with that happening in 1955, that is the key thing that stemmed the civil rights movement.
Yes.
His mother was determined to show how wrong the criminal justice system is, or
Hmm.
was, and still is now. And I mean, even to the point to where she did an open casket
She
showing,
wanted it. Yeah,
showing
she
I
wanted it
mean,
open, and
yes,
put the picture on the cover of Jet magazine.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That was a lot. I wasn't born yet, but to go back, because you can find it anywhere now. But
Yeah.
to go back and see, that was the reason she started the civil rights movement. And
Hmm.
with that being said, tomorrow night at y'all forgive me, 7, 8 Central, on ABC, women on the move. See, I'm all have it all messed up. What did I say, y'all? Let me get the name of this show for real.
But it's a series, I think. It's gonna be
Yeah,
like 2 or 3
yeah,
days. Yeah.
yeah. It's a series, and they are going to be airing this show tomorrow night on ABC. Check your local listings, and
Women of the movement.
Women of the movement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Women of the movement, and it's about Emmett Till, but it's focusing more on his mother because of the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's on ABC, and I think it's going to be airing what about 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
But check it out and watch this. So we wanted to come on live tonight to kind of talk about it. We had some technical difficulties. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And so, Carlos, I appreciate you joining in. I know
Yeah.
you got
No
to
problem.
leave here in about 5 minutes, and Alex and I'll carry
Yeah.
on
I
for.
need about a couple of minutes so I won't be late on there.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I
yeah,
have to let them in. Yeah.
yeah.
But no,
I
I
appreciate you.
enjoy it and keep up the good work.
Thank
I hate to
you.
cut it short, but like I said, I got to go. I mentor
Yeah,
these young men, and
yes.
they get on me for being late because I sure get on them.
No, tell him now, can't mess with my brother. But
Yeah.
anyway, I appreciate you joining in, and forgive me trying to do this technology stuff. So, but anyway, but it turned out good, and whoever's watching, Alex and I still be here for a few more minutes. And I'm gonna see if Christopher is available. He might can chime in. But
All right.
anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Talk to y'all later.
All right, thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Yeah, so yeah. So that's what's happening, Sister Alex. So how do you feel about this system that we have?
I don't feel anyway. To be honest, I don't want to say I'm the least focused person you'd ever meet. Because I do not watch the news. I don't watch. I'm more of the person. I like history. I really like a lot of history. So
Hmm.
the present day system is wrong. We all know it's wrong.
Hmm.
2020 allowed for people to be so tuned in to some of the things that was happening to where the justice system couldn't go sweeping anything under the rug anymore. They had
Hmm.
had to adhere to the people, and so that we seen change. I hope to not be caught up in the justice system. I hope nobody in my family be caught up in the justice system.
Yeah.
The system is the most heart wrenching system to have to be in or deal with as the person that's being convicted as well as the family. And
Hmm.
so, but again, for me, there's a lot of opinions that goes on.
Hmm.
If we talking about what happened to Emmett Till, um, history wise,
Hmm.
what was happening then. And
Hmm.
now, um, that's kind of why If Emmett Was Alive Today is the name of the podcast, because if he was alive today, what would his story be? If he made it through that tragedy, what would his story be? What would it be like? That's
Hmm.
always the biggest question if he was alive today. He was just a young kid. Most people go past his age all the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Boys, that's a very strong age for them as well. And so it's a dark subject. Criminal justice in general. I'm forced into the criminal justice system because of you.
Why, Alex?
Um I don't have any choice. But but try to I try to keep up with it as much as possible only because I'm like a part of all of this. However, if I had a choice, I'd probably I wouldn't want to know anything about it because I'm too sensitive. It's not that I don't care about human rights. I just overly care, and I would literally probably be under a rock if I could, just based on the way that the justice system is. And so, but yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. And if any of you all are watching, if you have any comments, we can see your comments as you listen. So if you have any comments that you would like to talk about, you can do that. We're going to be on here another few more minutes. We had some technical difficulties, and so, but we finally made it. I had to go to a whole new StreamYard, and so I'm so glad I did. But yeah, with the, as I stated before, for some of you all who's probably just joining in or whatever the case may be, we're going to be launching our season 2 of If Emmett Was Alive Today podcast, and I have quite a few guests that are coming up. Um, the first couple of people that I have is an attorney, Attorney Little is his name, and so he's going to be joining us on our episode 1, and our 2 is going to be Dr. Vic. He is the grandson of one of the jurors in the Emmett Till trial, and so he had a picture, and he showed me the picture, and he has a whole lot to share because of what he was hearing during the time as a little boy, after everything was over and during trial time. He has some really interesting information to share. So I'm just super excited about the people who I'm actually able to come in contact with to really talk about that subject. And so with Prevention Zone Inc. is nonprofit that provide resources to the exonerees, children with incarcerated parents, and we have our youth group called Young People Gathering, and then we do have a mentorship program. And I'm super excited because this year is kicking off really well. We're looking forward to doing a kickoff event in February with the tribute to Nina Simone, and we're looking forward to look out for that information coming up. And then, of course, March is National Criminal Justice Month, and so we're getting ready to hold our first annual awards event for the National Criminal Justice Month, and we're going to be celebrating some of our pioneers and people who have been in the criminal justice system as activists and judges, attorneys, and educators. And so we're looking forward to awarding these people an award that's coming through Prevention Zone Inc. We want to honor those people, and had the most amazing opportunity with our children with incarcerated parents. One of my board members had said they had this lady who she wanted me to meet, and so, I was like, okay, well, I definitely need to meet her, and her name is Marilyn Gambrell. And so with her being I would call her the mother of having starting an organization to help children with incarcerated parents. And back in 2005, her story was highlighted by way of a Lifetime movie called No More Victims. And so if you can catch that on Netflix. Was it Netflix? No, Prime Video. I think it was Prime Video. But if you Google it, you can find it. And who are fathers who have children, and helping them reconnect with the children. And I'm still frozen, Alex. I'm unfroze. Okay, good. Anyway, yeah, reconnecting them with their fathers, and it was a very touching event to see the kids who went to the prison to visit their dads for the holidays. And this was through Voices of the Fatherless, Percy Kennedy. You can look him up. He's on all of the social media platforms. And so we went in, but what kind of hit me in the heart, really got the best of me, and I'm trying to be all tough and strong. And it was one little boy said, "Don't look like he's going to come out." And I was like, oh my God. And so I went and sat down and had to wipe my eyes, because that really hit hard. He was there to see his father, and his father hadn't made it out yet. And so when I finally got myself together and went back in, his dad had made it. He was the last one. And so it was a very wonderful event. We ate food, we fed the fathers and their families, and we had music by Zoe Jack. And then we were able to get acquainted with a young man out of North Carolina by way of New Orleans, John Paul. He has the organization, the Sheepdogs. And so he's an amazing person. And you all will probably be hearing from him too on my podcast as well. And so, but Alex, is there anything else that I missed saying something? No.
No.
Okay. So if anybody have any questions or anything, this is recorded, and so you can watch it again from the beginning. And so we are looking forward. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to watch, what's the name of the show again, Alex?
Women of the Movement.
Women of the Movement on ABC. And I do have the link in on our Facebook page. Hi, we have a wonderful cousin of mine, Lynette Thompson, watching all the way from South Central LA, Cali. Yes. Thank you for tuning in, cousin. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support, because you always see you out there liking our stuff every time we have something going on. I appreciate the support. And our other Alex, your big sister Chiquita. She's on. Yes, thank you, Chiquita. I appreciate you, girl. But yeah, so we just wanted to come on so that you all can be on the lookout for the season 2 of If Emmett Was Alive Today podcast. And you all who know me, when it's something I want to do, I'm going to eventually do it. So my biggest person who I'm desperate to interview is Will Smith, because him and Jay-Z are the ones who's producing this, a part of producing this show tomorrow night, Women of the Movement. And so I would love to interview him. So hey, y'all know me, don't be surprised. May not be tomorrow, but it's going to eventually happen. So so I'm looking forward to what is in store. And I just want to leave a few words of encouragement to you. This is 2022. Whatever you had going on in 2021, and that's all of us, let's keep 2021 where it's at. This is 2022. This is a new month. This is a new year. And just think of doing something different. Don't bring that old self, what you was doing. And this is, I'm preaching to me, because I was I had a fairly good year, and it was a scary year, and God protected us from that COVID and everything, and so I'm very grateful for that. But the things that we did then, 2021, let's do something different in 2022, and whatever goal that you want to achieve or accomplish, go for it, do it, make it happen. And as my kids always hear me saying, I've always encouraged them to go for it, whatever it is you want to be. And good story with my son Oliver, he want to play football in college, and he heard from Yale and Dartmouth, and we went to LSU, University of Tulsa, and he said, Mom, all I want to do is just walk on at U of H. And turned out, getting that opportunity to do that, he's been selected as player of the week, player of the day. and we're super excited with where things are going with him. And I guess you all can tell I am a proud mom. And so that's what we have. Yeah, go Cougs. I know I'm still TSU strong. But yeah, so we just yeah, I even have my shirt on. Look at that. Got on my TSU shirt. But Alex, would you like to have some last words? What do you have coming up? It's like all my kids, everybody's doing something on their own. So what do you have coming up, Alex?
Um, what do I have coming up? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sleepy. I've been doing some subbing in between real estate deals. So today it was just real long. Well, it was a short day, but it felt like forever. But what do I have coming up? Well, if you need real estate, I'm more than happy to help you with real estate. I appreciate everybody that support me this past year and all my new clients coming up for this new year. I appreciate you so much. Um, I got my license back in 2018, but 2021 things started popping off the way that I needed it to. And then also, I'm bringing back my PR business, my food PR business. I'm here to help anybody that needs help. As far as food, I'm being very specific about what I'm doing PR for. I have a few clients, a few grandfather clients um, that I'm bringing in, but I am open. If you don't do food, I am open and I am able to do consulting, PR consulting, just marketing, social media, things like that. Shout out to some places that I just this past year had questions. One is Want Some Mo Gumbo. They had some questions. I was able to answer them. Very good company, gluten free gumbo. Another shout out is let me see, um, who is it? Maya's pot pies, best pot pies. I had a gluten free pot pie. You would have thought that it was not gluten free. Another good one is Nirvana Indian Restaurant. I did my first story on them. I'm also a writer. Story, when I say story, I'm also the writer, the food writer for Houston Style Magazine. Is like my dream thing that I've always wanted to do.
Mhm.
And so now that I've done that, I want to go bigger and better. And I just look forward to whatever else that I have going on. I plan on um
So what
con-
does the future look like for you?
um bright, bright. That's the only word I could put forward.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's just being open to unexpectedly good things. That's all I could say.
All right. Okay. All
Yeah.
right, cool. So, well, again, I appreciate everyone joining in, and I had both my producers, Alexandria Jack and Carlos Wallace, and he had to jump off for another meeting, and so I appreciate them pushing me into this arena of If Emmett Was Alive Today podcast, and you can find it on all of the podcast platforms. And so go out there and listen to some of the other stories, and we'll be keeping you posted on upcoming events that Prevention Zone Inc. will be having. We're looking for something in February, and then of course we will have something in March for the National Criminal Justice Month. Oh, and I do have a date, by the way. This is going to be March the 20th, which is Alex's birthday. March the 20th, from 4 to 7. I know, Alex, that was the only date they had available. I did give
You
other
don't
dates.
care. You don't
Oh,
care.
whatever. You got to help your mama plan it anyway. So, but anyway, but yeah, we just wanted to come on and share.
Oh,
Don't
I was gonna say, two of my favorite episodes from Emmett is if Emmett Was Alive Today. There I go. I can't say it, and I'm
uh-huh.
messing up the name. Is Christopher Scott's story,
Hmm.
and the other one is Joshua.
Stockton.
Yeah,
Uh,
Stockton. Those
yeah.
I think those are my two favorites, two favorite episodes from the
Hmm.
past episodes that we had.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, but all of them are good, and you can hear everyone's stories, huh?
I said all of them are good, but those are just my favorite.
The one that stood out the most. Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, you can we on all of the social media platforms. If Emmett Was Alive Today on Instagram and Twitter, and we do have a page here on Facebook that we're streaming live from. And so I appreciate everybody chiming in, and you can catch this because this is recorded. And so thank you again for your support. Don't forget to check out the movie on tomorrow, Women of the Movement on ABC. And reach out to me. You guys know how to find me. Reach out to me.
9 o'clock.
9, huh?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. What
That's
about it?
be on tomorrow.
Oh, that's the time it's coming on. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, but anyway, we'll talk with you guys soon and reach out to me. And I appreciate everyone who did chime in to watch this on tonight. Thanks again for your support. Good night and a happy New Year's.